Grand Rising. I'm BC the Tishvite, or BC the Hebrew. We are here to add Holy Spirit, Enlightenment, TV, Entertainment. Well, there's been a lot been going on. Many folks believe or impartial to it, but we're going to do our best to debunk it. Flight 941, 37-year hoax, debunking the lies. That's the title. One more time. No, it's a lot to take in. Flight 941, 37-year hoax, debunking the lies. That's what we're going to be talking about. Take a brief pause and a shout out. You see here my sister, Jerry Curtis. Yeah, that's my family there. Well, we're celebrating her star-born ality, and it was her birthday, I believe, sometime yesterday. And I'm just now hearing about it, and so I always try to shout out the fam out there, make sure that everybody gets the love that they need. So we're going to take a brief moment and let her tell you how she enjoyed with the Most High.
Beginning on my birthday, and nobody looking reckless, that's what I'm happy that day. At the Navy Pier, shouts out to the Navy Pier and the people here. Lindsay is treating beautiful, you all. Hey, and I just adore, I love you. This is where I wanted to be, and the Almighty set me up on 2 tables. Hey, I'm just lucky. So that's enough for now.
See, that's what you call favor and love. Agape love. Most High. All right. In my my other page, I got like so many pages, but this page right here, it say Yeshua HaMashiach. It just kicked me out. Right here, this page right here. But you can find me on BC What You On, and this video right here called Holographical Illusions, Fire Out of Heaven Deception, Lucid Illicit Reality. That right here is the introduction of what we're going to be talking about. That told you that you see these planes, those are holograms. And they flew the B-2 and the stealth fighter over the Super Bowl. That's what you thought. You know how much fuel money it costs to fuel them things up just to fly over some football game? And them are warplanes? Yeah, right. America ain't that dumb. So they showed holograms, and because they noise and you saw it and all that, you thought it was the real plane. See, that one right there explains to you that, which brings us up. I'm not going to click on it, but it's called Holographical Illusions, Fire Out of Heaven Deception, Lucid Illicit Reality. That's on my BC page. Let's see if I can pull it up. That you are currently on. When you go to that page, it should be the very first video pinned at the top. If I ain't lost my mind, that should be what you see after you get on the BC page. Now, when was technology invented? There's nothing new under the sun. Ain't nobody lie to you now. There's nothing new under the sun, y'all. Let's look at it. Technology was in 3000 BC. That ain't that far from Adam and them, is it? And then we currently thought that we were being better. 1450 AD after Christ. Now, there it is. Technology was out here in ancient of times, the laser eye beams and all that crafty, pyramid stuff y'all people like talking about over there. Yeah. Let's prove the scriptures right. Now, September 1954, that stupid plane supposedly disappeared in 1955, right? Now, what year was CERN created? I want y'all to look at what I'm doing. I'm highlighting stuff. What year was CERN created? You know what CERN is? CERN, make ripple effects and Be messing up people's consciousness and stuff like that. September 29th. Why is everything in September, man? The changed God law, September the 1st, 1923. See what I said? What's up with this doggone September, man? Because that's supposed to be the Feast of Trumpets of God. So for every God holy day, there's a freaking pagan holiday. Don't take my word for it. Just look at this. CERN messes with people's consciousness, right? When was holograms made? Y'all see this? When was holograms created? Stop, computer. Keep up with us. 1947. We can make stuff disappear. When was the Philadelphia experiment? 1970, right? Where they supposedly made a whole ship disappear and all that. Oh, the day you gonna learn today. So a real life hologram is a virtual three-dimensional image created by the interference of light beams, kind of like the sunlight and how we are on a holographical earth, right? So I just want to show you where they got this stuff from, man. Okay, so let's get down with the get down, right? BC ain't lost his mind, right? So if this plane supposedly disappeared, that means they were shooting a hologram on a commercial flight. That's the only thing that can disappear when you turn the holographical light off. Oh man, where is it at? No radar can detect it. Think I'm playing? I'm glad you do. Let's get down.
And gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Flight 914. Please fasten your seatbelts and observe no smoking sign. We'll take off in 5 minutes. When we're at our cruising altitude, refreshments will be served to you. Our flight will take 37 years. I wish you a pleasant trip. What would you do if you went on a vacation to another city and suddenly found yourself in another country altogether? I guess more adventurous types would even enjoy such a change of plans. But most of us would be confused. Anyway, even the most reckless of adventurers would at least raise an eyebrow if told they'd flown for close to half a century. On July 2nd, 1955, Pan American Flight 914 made its way from New York to Miami, Florida.
19, Pan. Let's look at the encryptions, okay? There's signs God is telling us. Pan is a demon. Let Pandora out the box. Mary is the queen of the waters. South and North America are the black magical mother of arts, of the dark arts. Meri, I lie not. Okay. Okay. So, all right, let's put this thing together. Queen of the waters letting Pandora out the box. Who's doing this? I don't see spooky wookie figurines going around here doing this. I see man rising above the clouds. I see man flying in the stars. So they say. Holographical images, all right, and illusions. Okay, see what pictures can do to you? It can sell you a fantasy and got you around here believing it's true. Talking about dimensions that you don't understand, parallel universe. We talk about stuff like we really know what's going on, right? You've been fooled by a light trick. They've been doing this in the 1800s when they talked about the ghosts and talking to their dead loved ones. There was a cat running around with a projector screen at the bottom or the top where nobody was looking at, and ooh, there's your spirit. So this thing cannot disappear, all right? Solid, like we said, Peter cannot walk on water, man. Not the physical body, Peter. When God said, worship me in spirit and in truth. So when Peter asked that, he astral projected, and his body stayed on the boat. Whoa, when them ghosts saw that, the Bible say, and the wind came boisterously. I told you God say all winds are angels. So it ain't wind. An angel? What angel? The one that want to suck you down into hell came and grabbed Peter. Peter said, hell, Yeshua. And Yeshua would say, go, gadget arm. No, I'm lying. That's not what it says. It say, Yeshua stretched his arm out and grabbed Peter and put him back on the boat. You see what I'm saying? Put him back in his body. All right, so we have 1955. When did we say CERN was built? When was holographical images made? Way before this doggone year. And you see what they did? Now, we showed you the B-2 just in the last year's Super Bowl. Just shot not even a year, because February 2022 ain't even come here yet. And you know that we were hurting for money, so they say. All right. And it takes almost $1 billion to fill up the B-2, the stealth fighter, and other plane that fly with them, because they fly 3. They make a triangle. So you think we're gonna spend $3 billion to wow the people on TV and for a football game? Boy, that's funny. No, but we will spend less than half that money and do holograms and make you think, yeah, we're flying planes over here. Just like I said, how is there a real war using tanks? And you see every day we advancing the robots and androids and drones. You ain't seen none of that in the war? If you ain't seen none of that in that bullshit they showing you on the news, they showing you something happened 50 years ago. What? I'm not time traveling back to what you want me to think. Nah, player. I'm living in the tech world where y'all shoot God rods and say aliens did it. You see what I'm saying? How we gonna know unless you understand, right? So, you know, God said they're gonna shoot their arrows and they don't have to aim at their target, and it is to blow away the target and more. That's in the book of Jeremiah now. And you know, God doggone well, and ain't no cowboys and Indian arrows. All right, that's what you call bombs today. All right, when it's flying in the air, tell me it don't look like an arrow. So when we see the chronological order of what they're doing here, they've been playing tricks on us for a while. And they shoot demons right in our face, naming it on the technology, the storm, the hurricane, the comet, the asteroid. Look up what them names mean when they name it. Now, one of them gonna be a thing from heaven. Now, one of them, I promise you.
It was a fine sunny day, and 57 passengers on board the plane were looking forward to seeing the warm beaches and palm trees of Florida. The plane took off without trouble, but 3 hours later, when it should have already landed at the destination airport, it was nowhere to be seen. Radars of the control tower in Miami didn't show any approaching aircraft, and no distress signals were received either. When air traffic control contacted the New York tower, they got a perplexing reply. Flight 914 just disappeared from the radars in midair. Everything indicated that the plane was lost. Apart from having vanished from the radars, air traffic control couldn't get through to the pilots with the radio. The DC-4 simply vanished into thin air, leaving no trace of itself or any of the people on board. Investigation was started right away. The flight route took the plane over a part of the Atlantic Ocean, and it seemed that the only explanation of its vanishing was that it crashed somewhere along the way. Rescue teams were deployed, the Coast Guard was scanning the waters, but still no luck. Not a single piece of the lost plane was to be found. Investigators could only shrug their shoulders in dismay. 61 people, passengers plus the crew, just blinked out of existence, along with a huge flying machine. Eventually, although the case was never really solved, there was an official statement that the plane crashed, taking the lives of everyone on board. But despite numerous and understandable questions from the grieving relatives, no one could say what really happened to Flight 914, until 37 years later at least. Change of scenery. It's now September 9th, 1992, and we're in Caracas, Venezuela. It's a perfectly normal day for Juan de la Corte, air traffic controller at the Caracas airport. He turned up at work, made some coffee, and took his seat, overlooking flights. He was giving some minor comments on a flight in progress when something weird happened. Seemingly out of nowhere, a new dot appeared on the radar. It was as if an aircraft had just popped up from nothingness, or as if it had been hiding from the radar and now decided to show up. Either way, it was a strange thing to see near a civil airport, and De La Corte checked the reading several times, thinking at first that it was a mistake. It wasn't though. The readings were correct, and soon he and colleagues were able to see it with their own eyes. In less than 10 minutes, the culprit showed up in the field of vision. At first, it looked to the air traffic control like an ordinary airplane, but as it got closer, They could see that it was, in fact, a very old DC-4 McDonnell Douglas passenger aircraft, still with propellers instead of modern turbines. Such planes were still in use, but they'd grown obsolete and mostly replaced by more contemporary ones. But that wasn't even the beginning of weird. The real confusion began when the pilot of the mysterious aircraft contacted the tower and asked in English, "Where are we?" As the one in charge at the time, Juan de la Corte replied they were closing in on the Caracas airport and asked where the flight was headed. There was a pause on the other side, and then the pilot answered, "We are Pan Am Flight 914 headed from New York to Miami, Florida, with a crew of 4 and 57 passengers on board." This took the air control completely off guard. What was a Pan Am flight doing 1,100 miles away from its point of destination? And how did it even get there? De la Corte was quick to ask a few more questions to the pilot, and what he heard next baffled him. The pilot said his flight was scheduled to land at the Miami airport at 9:55 a.m. on July 2nd, 1955. Now it was time for the tower to fall into silence. Before asking anything else, not to make matters worse, air control cleared the plane for landing. De la Corte didn't know what to make of the pilot's words. Perhaps he thought he went insane, but that was irrelevant since there were people on board the mystery airplane. He had to make sure they landed safely and decided he would ask questions when they did. Ground units were immediately called to assist the plane and the passengers, and it landed without trouble. Having relaxed a little bit, Juan finally decided to ask something that bothered him. "Did you know today is May 21st, 1992? Another pause that ensued told him it was a huge mistake to say that. As the ground crew approached the airplane, the pilot's bewildered voice on the radio said, "What are you talking about?" When De la Corte heard that, he knew he would have to order security guards to go to the plane and escort the passengers and the crew. However, as they were moving towards the aircraft, the pilot did something nobody expected. Juan heard the flight captain's panicking voice saying, "No, stay away, we're leaving now." And indeed, he started the engines again and, without waiting for takeoff clearance, taxied the plane to the runway. Juan tried to stop him over the radio, telling him he was creating a dangerous situation, but the pilot didn't respond. He simply drove to the runway, accelerated, and took off. For some time, the plane could be seen in the air. Soon, it only appeared as a dot on the radar, and then it vanished again. No words could describe the shock Juan de la Corte and his colleagues at the air control tower were in.
Now you know about holograms and the planned lies. Why would they play with those people family? You know, doggone well, you come back to your Earth home, them passengers is out. We is not riding this plane no more. I'm hopping out. The people were jumping off the Twin Tower knowing they're going to die when they hit the ground. Stop playing with me. All right. When we realized they was back on the ground, like, oh, yeah, this is where I'm from. I don't care what year it is. They would jump out the window. I'm out. We is not flying back up, though. That's one thing we not doing. So why would they play with people's heads like that and all them families? I'm saying same thing that the pastor can't explain how Peter walked on water. Obviously, it wasn't in his physical body. Physics tell you that. The law of physics is the law of God. Moses' law. It's the discipline of the flesh. The discipline of the flesh is what science understands. Atoms, molecules, and eat healthy so you don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? So they all say the same thing, but when you have the spirit God nature, what the hell you need the law for? The law don't even apply to you. You are above those things because you have learned how to use your power and exercise what God has given you. See the difference? So when you see lies like this, your mind is different from what the rest of the world think because you are set aside. Holograms was made in 1947 and go further back than that. Technology, which is the holography, was made in 3000 BC, further back than that, because the Watchers gave after Adam and Seth and them, somewhere around there after 1,000 years, the Watchers was giving secrets to men, which is really a mirror reflection of themselves, the genie of the genes inside of their body. That's how it's yourself. But they call it demons and fallen gods and all this other stupid stuff. More confusion. Genie is the genie cannot speak to you through your genes if it ain't in your genes. All right, period. So, you know, all this spookism stuff that they teach out here ain't for us, man. I'm going to tell you the truth. This is the information the Holy Spirit wanted y'all to understand. We debunk the lies. There is dimensional and parallel worlds, but this ain't one of them. All right. And all these other ghost stories that there's no type of evidential spiritual matter to tell you that they are telling the truth. So just like the air show, they did this before. That's why they did it again. They knew they can get away with it. But this time, nobody disappeared nowhere in the air show of the Super Bowl. Again, you can check that out on my page. It's the name of that to give you greater detail of how holograms can punch you in your face. Spirit can't. A spirit got to ask you to get into your body so you can punch another person in the face. Okay, this video right here explains it. It's called Holographic Illusions, Fire Out of Heaven Deception, Lucid Illicit Reality. This is part 2, what we did today, a further, greater detailed explanation of what the government, when I say government, it is an entity. Remember, man cannot sign himself to something because he's a god. Man is free. That's why man can't sign his name. He need a logo. But the logo is really called entity. So the judge is a demon. The lawyers, they all entities, okay? That's why they have to have you sign a paper. Even though you guilty as hell, you have to sign to put yourself in the jail. Because a spirit is free. It cannot be slaves. It cannot be taught nothing. But see, they didn't tell us that. When we were born in this world, they made you, you know what I'm saying, programmed you. I'm telling you, God put you out here naked, even in the world, didn't have angels wrap you. They made your arm, leg, head, all that. They clothe you. That's how important God care about clothes and all this stuff we be rolling around here as human beings in this third dimensional illusion. This is a hologram too, but you know, that's another time. We're really not ready for that knowledge yet. So I'm BC the Tish Fight, BC Hebrew. Shalom, blessings. Enjoy y'all day. And may the Holy Spirit fill you forever.